Okay, I bet you're expecting a game list of Forbidden West, Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild 2, Witch Queen expansion, God of War Ragnarok, and well, yes, I really cannot wait to play some of those games. I do need a PS5 to play a few of those, and that's still really not a thing you can find easy, so for now, we wait. Witch Queen I'll be getting on PC, that's gonna be great. I put a lot of hours into the recent seasons playing with a homie, it's been a ton of fun. I'm finishing up Star Wars Fallen Order that I started last month. I'll most likely get Elden Ring on Steam to be there for day one conversation, but other than like a mega surprise, something I'm not expecting at all, Hogwarts Legacy drop at some point, this year is looking like a backlog year, so let's get into it. The first game I'm looking forward to playing this year is Skyrim. Wait, say what now? Yes. Now I have played a fair bit of Skyrim. I've gone through my seasons of modding. I think my current save, which I haven't played on in like 2.5 years, is at the end of the second act with a good bit of side questing. Over the course of 2021, a bit off and on, I played Red Dead Redemption 2 and finished the ending of the game right at around 100 hours. Now that is a good amount of hours to put into a game. It's the same amount of hours I had when I platinumed and finished Bloodborne and Horizon Zero Dawn. And while I feel like I really knew a lot of the secrets and corners of those games, with RDR2, I felt like I was barely scratching the surface. If you haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2 yet, oh my goodness, take your freaking time. I'll talk more about that in a video I have coming about rushing to complete games, but anyways, point being, I want to take my time with Skyrim. Over the last year especially, I feel like I've learned a lot about gaming when it comes to like the open world and RPG experience. Skyrim is effectively Game of Thrones, the video game, except a lot better. Okay, moving on. With the time I have put into Skyrim so far, I have loved the immersion, the exploration, the systems, the world, the combat even to some extent. So I think one last new Skyrim save file and really taking my time to discover everything that game has. It's obviously a gem, it's come out on every microwave for the last decade, and if it takes me all year to give it the time it deserves, I mean, I'm down for that. The second game, or set of games, I'm looking to check off the backlog in 2022 is Assassin's Creed 1 through, I'm not sure yet, somewhere around Syndicate probably. My introduction to the Assassin's Creed series was with Black Flag that I got for free with my GTX 770 back in like 2013. Freaking dang, that game was so good. I love pirate adventures, sea battles, the attire, slaying, and like the kind of pirate culture community of the whole thing, and then really not knowing the big picture of the AC narrative and just rolling right into the middle of this Assassin's Templar conflict was like, I'm confused, but I want more. In an era of really not always finishing single player games, that one got the completion check mark, and oh my goodness, that opening song, do you mind if we just... Thank you for that. I have seriously slept on the Assassin's Creed series, and while the new model they've been on with the recent games isn't exactly my cup of tea, the older style, at least from what I can tell, I'm more about. I love games with any kind of stealth aspect, the historical tour they seem to put you on, and as newer games that come out get bigger in both scale and time commitment, checking off some old 20-hour gems is something that I've been wanting to do a lot more of. The next set of games I'm looking forward to is the Bioshock series. Notice a trend here? I haven't really played a lot of industry staples. Trying to change that. I know next to nothing about the Bioshock games, I just know I love the steampunk aesthetic and I hear a lot of good things about them. I've seen my Observer fair share of art and video clips. Any game with rail cars is a must play for me, Dishonored 3 win. Speaking of, those games were kind of the same thing for me. Didn't really know much about them. I think I knew maybe one person who had played the first one. And since playing through 1 and 2, they are super high on my list of favorite games and huge inspiration for my game dev interests. But getting back to Bioshock, really the only hint about the story I may or may not even have is a Gameranx thumbnail of Bioshock with the title about games you play where you're actually the bad guy. Could be misleading, but we're gonna have to go find out for ourselves now, won't we? Next on the list, jumping to the multiplayer side of things, is Halo Infinite in about 6 months. Oh my goodness, that game is a train wreck. Free to play on Halo, I mean, I can see how it could have been cool, but they certainly didn't do it right, and it's not cool right now. How can you take something like armor customization, a built-in feature of previous entries, and throw it behind an awful challenge-chasing battle pass in a store that makes Apex look like the perfect execution of the free-to-play model? Why do you think Forge, Firefight, and Co-op campaign were delayed? It's probably so they could sell you free-to-play garbage. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm sure you've heard plenty of complaints about Halo Infinite. I do share in pretty much all of it. I think it will be great eventually in all facets, and I'm looking forward to when that day comes. And lastly on my list of backlog 2 plays for 2022 is Lego Harry Potter Years 5 through 7. Why, you might ask? Because I love Harry Potter, can't wait for Hogwarts Legacy. Lego games are amazing and are still just as fun as they've always been. And between the deep emotional stories and sweaty multiplayer grinders, a laid back and light Lego game is a joy. Over the years, I've primarily played the Lego Star Wars games. Do those have some nostalgia with them? In 2020, I made my way through the platinum of Harry Potter Years 1 through 4, and looking ahead at the big list of narrative hours I would like to hit this year, getting in something like Lego Harry Potter Years 5 through 7 in the middle of some of those games, I think adds some good pacing. Well, look at you making it to the end of the video. Appreciate it. If you enjoyed your time here today, go ahead and hit the like button. If you think you will continue to enjoy your time here, go ahead and hit the sub button. While you're down there, I have some socials linked. Go ahead and do your thing. Click some buttons. We're not too far into the month, right? Happy 2022. Hope the year's going well for you. I think that's kind of all the outro stuff. So yeah, peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.